I do kind of suffer from OCD, which is like just inherent patterns everywhere. And my mind is constantly trying to decipher patterns wherever I go.
Right.
Which is why I'm also a data scientist now.
Right.
So
that makes perfect sense.
Right. So I have to make reason of everything.
Right.
Everything that I come across has a simple explanation. Has an explanation, and to me, it's got to be a simple one.
Right.
So that kind of started putting it all together, and I started looking into the karmas of the day, and especially a lot of what I was taught was through people. And that's how you're going to learn, because people are the representative of the energy of the day, or the day that they were born on.
Right.
So they become the public representative of this energy. So I started studying celebrities, of course.
I have to be where it starts.
Right, because that's why they're called stars, because they're called stars, because they're bringing that mirror, that esoteric information to us as a collective. So I started studying celebrities, and I also had the privilege of being able to study my children, because I have 8 children.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So my children are pretty powerful cards. I have an Ace of Diamonds. I have 2 4 of Diamonds children. I have a King of Clubs. I have a 3 of Diamonds. I have a 2 of Diamonds, 2 of Diamonds, and a Queen of and I have a Queen of Clubs. So all of those cards are very, very, very powerful cards. And I was able to kind of cross-reference a lot of things, a lot of karmas with my own children. And then I began to realize, sharing that publicly, that this is what everybody, who are those cards, these are karmas that they collectively share.
Now, do you find, because one thing I've noticed with people is a lot of people are almost disheartened because they believe they're unique. And so when you tell them, like, oh, you have, this is predictable, they're like, well, it threatens their uniqueness in a way. Even though they're still unique, but they feel like if you say that because you're born on this day, all these things, most people are fighting against just the zodiac sign in general. They're like, no,
you don't know me, you don't know me.
So tell them, no, I'm telling you on this specific day, you are like this. They're like, oh, that's even more threatening.
This is the thing. If you read out of the book and the textbook definitions, you're going to be met with that kind of resistance.
Right.
If you just get them with a textbook. But my particular card is a card of, it's a very magical card. I make people feel good. You know what I mean? When I'm speaking, I make them feel at ease.
You're my Venus card, too.
Oh, it's a King of Diamonds? Okay. But yeah, so I make people feel good, and I realized that I had that gift a long time ago, because I would talk to people who are really in distress, and whatever distress they're in, it would just kind of melt away. And I could talk to people who have mental illnesses and they're on the verge of a major breakdown, and they would just come back into, right, exactly. So I was like, so that's another superpower that I have. So I don't really run into a lot of beef when it comes to me one-on-one talking to people. So if they hear about me and they hear the information, they'll be like, oh, no, yeah, that's crap. But when I say, well, let's have a conversation, and we sit and we talk, they're just like, loving me. And they're like, oh, come on, let's go have some coffee and, really tell me more.
A lot of people do lean in on this information. Once they kind of get a taste of it, wait. Then the first thing is like, no, well, fine. Read my boyfriend, or tell me why are we doing this? And you find out that certain cards, certain energies, or certain karmatic energies, as you're saying, show up around your life constantly. You can move to a whole new place, whole new part of the world, and magically, like for me, Ace of Spades are always around, 6 of Diamonds, and Ace of Diamonds, and 10 of Clubs, always around me. I can't avoid them, and it's like, this is where I'm at right now.
My card crew, as I call it, Ace of Diamonds,
I like that.
Ace of Diamonds, King of Diamonds, 3 of Diamonds. It's always Diamonds.
Right.
King of Clubs. These are my card crew.
Right.
So they're everywhere I go. That's where they are.
I like the card crew.
7 of Diamonds.
Pay more attention to what
you have a card crew. They keep showing up. So his father, right? Born same day as him.
Yeah. Ace of Diamonds.
Ace of Diamonds.
Married to a King of Diamonds, and then me and him are business partners. There's King of Diamonds, Ace of Diamonds. So I'm born on the original day of Tupac, the original Tupac. Amore, and then he's born on the actual Tupac.
My son is born on June 16th.
Oh, that's
yes. My oldest son is June 16th.
Gemini Ace of Diamonds.
Yeah, Gemini Ace of Diamonds. Yeah. So, and the brother, the DJ that just passed away the other day from New Orleans, was born on June 16th.
Was he?
Well.
He was? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's a June 16th Ace of Diamonds.
Yeah, I heard about him. Okay, so even that. So I was on your page, and you have breakdowns because people think, oh, maybe it's just relationship and personal stuff. It's like, no, you can look at
your businesses,
events, world events, things that are occurring. So coronavirus, give us
everything.
What is your take on this from the card perspective?
Everything that is under creation has a birthday, right? Correct. So even if you can't find the birthday, then you would take the name and you get the card of the name. Right, so that's a little trick I used to do because I get guys' birthday. They don't want to give me their birthday, so I take their name. And they give me a fake name, it doesn't matter because that's still a part of your energy. Right. So I'll take the fake name and get the card of the fake name and still get their energy. So, right, exactly. So, COVID-19, which I thought that was significant. When you have a significant event, like a renaming event, that's kind of the thing that you want to zoom in on. So COVID-19 is an Ace of Diamonds. And
so you took it from when they announced the new name.
Yeah,
birthday,
okay. Yeah. I made that. Well, I didn't make that the birthday. I didn't even go on the date. I went on the name.
You went by the COVID-19.
I just went by the COVID-19 because when I found out it was an Ace of Diamonds, it kind of fit everything that was going on right now. And that's what'll happen too.
Creating new values.
Yeah,
crazy. Right?
Creating new values and new money.
Yes, it is.
New money. This is about new money. That's what it's about.
Well, we were just discussing that. Them switching from the old system to trying to go to crypto and having to destroy a lot of industries and things like that in order to bring about this change.
Right.
And so you're gonna make it look how you gotta make it look, but the end game is the new money.
Right.
We was just discussing that.
Right. And you follow the progression of the life path of the Ace of Diamonds. You get a 3 of Clubs in Mars, which began when Kobe Bryant died. So when Kobe Bryant died and he was buried in the Corona de Mars, the Mars card of the Ace of Diamonds, he was buried in Corona de Mars. So nothing is a coincidence. So when you're looking at the breakdown of each period, you're looking at a time signature. This is giving you an omen. You know what I mean? So back in the days, our ancestors, they used to have omens. You know, and so-and-so showed up. Oh my God, you know it's about to go down. This person showed up. Everybody, the priests got together. We're like, okay, we know it's about to go down now. Well, that person is representative of that energy. Right. So that's how they're able to tune in. If that person was an Ace of Spades, they know some serious stuff is about to go down. Ace of Spades shows up. So
I do that with animal totems. I look at
right.
I believe you bring once you see that particular energy has shown up in your
right.
field of view, it is resonating with you in a certain way, delivering a certain message. I like the natives when the white man first showed up. I was like, this ain't good. This ain't good.
No, right? This couldn't be good.
We had a whole meeting about this.
Right.
Here he is. It's bad over.
Well, that's exactly what this is. So when these particular cards show up, like, you know, a lot of times I don't even really use software. I don't look at nothing. I look at people showing up in my life to see what energy is hitting me right now. You know what I mean? So if somebody comes up in my life and, you know, they're an Ace of Diamonds or King of Diamonds, I know I'm going to be dealing with business and money and all of that. And if it's a particular special card for me, that's a lesson card. I know I got a big major thing coming up, you know, because this person is showing up. And sometimes I'm not just looking at the card. Sometimes I'm looking at the combination card between me and that person. Right. You know what I mean? So what is the energy between me and that person? Because that's showing up.
A lot of people don't do. Some people I meet, they're new in the card, so they don't know personality. Your first card or your birth card or your planetary ruling or your deccan or whatever. But they don't know. Yeah, you take your card and my card, you combine together, do the math on it, and you get our energy.
The energy, right. And what we came here to do, what we're going to face as a combination card, exactly. So it's so powerful because there's so many ways that you can fix your life with cardology. You know what I mean?
So from that perspective, I know we're kind of a little more, I know you're very seasoned with the cards, but from a Neumann's perspective, if someone was to just watch this right now and didn't know anything about the cards, what would be a good way for them to start and be able to just start deciphering some of the things?
Well, you always start with yourself because you know yourself. And people who get into cardology, that's what they usually do. They start dissecting their life. They go back years and they be like, oh, wow, that's why this happened. That's why this happened. that's why this is happening. Then they look in the future and they're like, oh, well, some good stuff is coming in this. So they start dissecting their own lives. So if you go on my website, I have a free tool where you can get your yearly cards. Right, AquariusMaximus.com. Okay. So if you register, I got a tool that I coded myself that you can get your yearly spreads forwards and backwards. So that's what we start to do. We start to go back because we go back to some traumatic periods. You know what I mean? Like, I really want to know why this happened to me, what cards I was dealing with.
I definitely went back to some old days.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. So much. You're like, I would only know.
And it's like it's just uncovering and deciphering everything for you. And then you go and you look at your old relationships and what their card was. And, you know, and you start seeing the repetitive patterns of relationships that you have.
Now, have you seen people try to write off? Because I almost did this once. I was about to write off dating all Ace of Spades females. I was like, no more Ace of Spades females.
I did that with signs. I did that with astrology.
See, to be signs almost signs are broad, even broader in some ways.
I did that with astrology only because when I got traumatized, when I had a real traumatic relationship, right? It's always when you get a traumatic relationship.
Right, that's what it is.
So, so you're like, oh my God, I can't never. Virgo rules my house of relationships. I can't mess with no Virgos. You know what I mean? No more. No more Virgos. You know? Yeah. I've always, and now it's funny because Pisces, of course, that's ruling my first house because I'm a Pisces ascendant. But a lot of my 12th house is in Pisces, so I'm very afraid of Pisces. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't know, you know. But you have different traumas with different signs, so then you kind of be like, no, I'm not gonna do this. I had a big trauma with Aries, but you know, I have Chiron in Aries. You know what I mean? And so I stayed far away from Aries for as long as I possibly could. You know what I mean? So, but it all made sense. But one thing about cardology too is that cardology has definitely helped me see astrology differently.
Yes, it's really opened it up for me.
Right. So I realized that astrology uses the same law of attraction principles as cardology does. You know what I mean? So when you open up somebody's chart, at the moment, it's applying right now. So you're reading their circumstances that's going on right now, even if that's their natal chart and you're opening it up. So, and if you're opening it up, it also applies to you. You know what I mean? So you're opening up their spread, but these transits is hitting you right now too. You know what I mean?
That's something I've always found. I'll be reading somebody else's.
It's punching you in the face.
Yes, and a lot of astrologers don't like me for that. When I start talking about the law of attraction and telling them that, because they don't want to identify with people who are coming in. If this person has these problems, they want to think they don't have these problems in some form or fashion.
That's got to be from viewing it from the wrong point, because if you're creating the reality, the person that's coming in to get the reading is actually informed you coming in to get the reading.
Let me tell you something. That's why I love giving readings. You know why? Because every time I give a reading to someone else, I give a reading to myself.
Because that's all you're doing in
that's
the first
place. That's why I love it. Because when I want to know what's going on with me, I'm like, okay, I got a reading coming up. I'm about to get the business. So I start channeling, giving the reading, and I'm like, wow. This is like answering everything that's going on with me right now.
I found that, but I've never put that into words. But I've noticed when I do that, I guess it's that helping others. Kind of like Chiron, right? Where you're helping others, but through helping others is how
you're healing yourself. Right. I mean, it's interesting. You can open up a spread, and like for instance, the Ten of Spades is the card of disruption. Mm-hmm. So if you open up somebody's spread and they got a Ten of Spades, somebody's gonna come in and interrupt you. Oh, somebody's phone ringing?
Yes.
There you go. Ten of Spades. Disruption.
It's not me.
Even when you... That's my phone.
Oh, either way. That wasn't practice.
That wasn't practice. But...
I always heard it as the workaholic card. Can you explain that? Why do they call it the workaholic card?
Because it is a workaholic card. You will work
the distractions will have you working
work yourself to death. But however, it is a card of disruption. Okay. The Queen of Clubs has it in Mercury. So the Queen of Clubs constantly has to deal with disruptions in their lives. Right. And they have it early, so they may have a disruption in education early, a disruption in their home life.
They usually have really good focus though.
Right, because when you get disrupted a lot, you're gonna get good focus. Right. You know what I mean?
And so let me ask you this then. First question. Mm-hmm. Do you believe, from what I've noticed, I like to say a lot of these things that are spiritual, metaphysical, occult, you name it, they've been very much European white lies.
Right.
And so do you find that there's a need to have more literature more drawings, and I see you got certain more African looking
yes, there's absolutely a need for that.
Shout out to Phoenix Nebula, he does dope cards that he
and and I get my cards from Black Spades. Shout out to Black Spades.
So do you see that need there too? Like we need books because, like I said, the quote unquote white version of the Ten of Spades is the Workaholics card.
Right.
But you have a
the Ten of Spades is also the card of success in earth-based industries, right? So this could be success in holistic healing. This could be success in metal industries and stuff like that. So yeah, you want to know the positive side too of all the cards, because if you go by you got to also realize a lot of these cards, the meanings were adulterated by cartomancy, which is not the same thing.
Right.
Well, it is, but it isn't.
Well, you can, because you can use it.
Yeah, you can use it in the same way of cartomancy, but somehow, I guess during the period that they were under, they have very negative connotations for almost half of the cards in the deck. They do. So if you go by that, you ain't gonna want to be a card of any kind, because if you see a Queen of Spades as a widow, nobody wants to be a widow.
Right. For the record, the playing cards are older than tarot cards.
Yes, they are.
Anybody wanted to know, or that's reverse and talk.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, most people think the tarot were first, and then they got the playing
tarot.
Cards. But that wasn't the case, right? It was the playing cards first, and they were you had to have special permission from the king to even produce these cards. They had certain taxes that were associated with them and all kinds of stuff.
The tarot, the playing cards because they carry those such definitive energies and karmas, and it, of course, brought up so much fear around it. They were banned at many times,
right?
Very much so. Just totally banned, no. So the Catholic Church supposedly created the tarot to overshadow the power of the playing cards. Okay. So with the tarot, you're bringing in imagination. It's just imagination and visuals, but it's not specific. You can't be as specific as you can be with the cards.
Correct.
The cards, you can definitely pinpoint things
down
to the
cards,
day.
What, 28 cards in the Magna Carta or whatever it is?
You're talking about
tarot?
22.
Yeah, 22.
Meanwhile, 53 cards.
Yeah. So, and you're dealing with a calendar, a definitive calendar.
Break that down, Rick. I'm glad you said that.
Right. 52 cards, 52 weeks in a year, 13 cards, 13 lunar months. Right. And the 4 seasons, or the 4 suits.
If so, you add up all the cards in the deck, they total 364.
Yes, yeah. Right.
And the tarot deck only got 78, I think. 70 something.
Cards, when I saw that part, and I was like, that makes too much sense, man. And it was like, the red cards are they're different ages, child, adolescents, adult, elderly, and I was like, man, this makes too much. It's almost too perfect.
It is, and it's very simplified. Right. It's simplified. It's simplified law of attraction dynamics. Like, you can just really, once you get a grip on this, you can decipher so many things about yourself and about other people around you that it's just insane.
So one thing I noticed is when I see people do redrawings of the deck of cards, a lot of times people don't pay attention to what the cards are actually showing on the card.
Right. So
like with the Queen of Spades, if you were at home right now, you grab a bicycle deck and look at the Queen of Spades, she's going to be staring at the point of the spear. Right. Like laser sharp focus on the point of the spear. Or the King of Diamonds has only one eye. He's the one-eye king with an axe in his hand. Very competitive, focused on just on the
stubborn.
Diamond. Right. Meanwhile, you have very stubborn on his one.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I know you would have kicked them.
We feel like we know value and we work.
Because you have an 8 of clubs inside on you.
And we have an 8 of clubs inside.
Yeah, so you're very fixed.
And so, so when you look at a 6, any 6s, it's 3 on one side, 3 on the other, reflecting, showing very much a karmic kind of energy taking place with the 6s.
About balance too.
Very much, but it's about establishing balance for a lot of 6s in different areas. Just kind of covering that the cards themselves, the way they're drawn and presented, there's a lot of information that can be gathered. The King of Hearts with the looking like he's stabbing the suicide king, like stabbing himself in the head. There's another king where he's not really focused on anything. I think it's the King of Spades, where he's hardworking, but he doesn't really look at anything. So a lot of times the King of Spades, I noticed, don't achieve as much as they could.
That's because of the Jack of Spades personality. So most of them have not elevated to the King of Spades. They don't want to.
Right.
Because the King of Spades is a very, very difficult energy.
That's J. Edgar Hoover was a King of Spades.
Right. It's very, if you're going to describe anything, it's very Virgo. You know what I mean?
Nitpicky.
Right. And it's the card, I like to call it the card of perfectionism. You know what I mean? So nobody wants to live in a life of perfectionism. Right. So usually when you have that king of diamond, that king of spades, you got somebody who was a parent or somebody who was a perfectionistic person. You know, so nothing was ever right enough. Nothing was ever good enough. And that's something that will force you out in the streets and just kind of mess up. You know what I mean? Because you got to deal with that type of energy.
Okay, yeah. So, for ladies and gentlemen out there, a really famous king of spades that all the ladies love is Morris Chestnut is the king of spades. They actually did a very popular movie. Morris Chestnut's the king of spades. Cuba Gooding Jr. is the queen of spades, and Singleton is the jack of spades. And the Boys in the Hood, and I believe, yeah, all three of them.
I said they hang together.
Singleton said, when I saw Cuba, I had to fight the studios because studios didn't want to cast Cuba. And he was like, but I felt something with Cuba, and I was like, hey, I was king of spades and queen of spades. I was get it done.
Simpatico.
And if people want to test this stuff, take time going into these websites, Destiny Cards. You can go on Aquarius Maximus' website. There's so many websites you can go on just a really quick check. Take a look at some of these cards, and then look at different groups of people who hang out with each other. And you notice certain numbers are always around each other. So Cash Money, Baby's a 10 of diamonds, Nicki Minaj is a 10 of clubs. And Wayne is a 10 of hearts. Drake is the jack of hearts.
Well,
Drake makes perfect sense. The jack of hearts. And the music he makes.
About love, being the messenger of love.
Being the messenger of love.
And being Captain Saberho.
Exactly. but that's,
that's a Jack of Hearts. Captain Saberho.
Don't you know that's Jack of Hearts? That's the Jesus card.
I
got a question. So how do you, what advice would you give someone to maximize their potential in their suit or card?
Well, I will tell you the same thing that most astrologers would tell you. Well, if they're a good astrologer, embrace your Saturn card.
Facts.
Okay.
The lessons card, the teacher card.
Live your Saturn card. Now, a lot of people, when they get involved in this, the first thing they're looking at is their Jupiter card, right? And they think, oh, yeah, that's when all of the blah, blah, blah.
I never meet my Jupiter card.
No. When you get into, there's a 13-line of procession of cards. You go through these 7-line of progression in your life, right? So you get to your Mars years are actually your best years. You know what I mean? Really? Because because it's Mercury to Jupiter. Your next card is the card that you're actually living your day-to-day life. So when you get in your Mars card, you're living your Jupiter card.
Which is what, 21, the Mars period?
Right, 20, the 20s. Right. That was the best years of my life.
Devil
exactly. Let's do it, Mars. But then when you get to your Jupiter, every day is your Saturn.
Yeah, because you got to get ready for real.
Right. So that means no more messing up, no more frivolous stuff.
Right.
You got the stuff that you was dealing with that was frivolous is just not going to work.
It's crazy that you said that because I'll be 29 this year.
Oh, yeah,
and
Saturn
I've been
return.
tightening up like over the
Saturn
past
return.
couple years. Now more so than ever. I'm feeling it like, okay, Ashley, you need to do this. I need to get my credit together.
I always have Saturn returners calling me. You know, my progress Scorpio planets in Capricorn now. So Saturn people, 29 is the magic age for me. Everybody 29, they always come to me. So, and I'm telling them, okay, so what you need to do is if you don't want Saturn to jack you up, you got to be Saturn. That's the secret to overcoming your Saturn return. Right. So if you got to start stripping stuff away, you see Saturn is stripping stuff away from you, you got to start stripping stuff away. Let it go. Just let it go. What's for you will stay, and what's not is going to be a burden, and it's going to get stripped away. You know, and at that time, of course, you know, they're really uncomfortable because they just got over their 20s and I've achieved this and I got this and I want this, and they really don't want to give it up.
Right.
But same thing with cardology. Your Saturn card. Your Saturn card is probably your Saturn card represents you, period. Right. You're really your Saturn card. Right. You're not your Sun card.
So I'm really,
you know what I mean?
Clubs, just
yes, you're really an 8 of clubs. I'm really a 4 of spades. You know, which is stubborn too. Right. Mm-hmm. And my name is a King of Diamonds. So
my 4 of spades is my second card, though. I'm a planetary ruler. So I guess I'm stubborn all the way around.
Yeah. And I'm stubborn too now. I got, you know, I'm a 4. I'm a 4. So that's you, you know, totally stripped naked. This is who you are. Right. You know, so this is, if you can live in that authentic place, you can gain success earlier in your life. You can maintain success for a longer period of time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's very, very, very helpful. And normally you get two people that come in your life religiously. You get your Jupiter cards and you get your Saturn cards that come in your life. You don't even want to deal with your Saturn cards. Right. You know what I mean? You just like, you know, when they're there, you know, and your Jupiter cards, that's your best friend, you know, right. Your inspiration. Yeah, you know what I mean? They're giving you money.
The Saturn person sometimes can seem almost like the judgmental energy, almost.
Yeah.
The Saturn card is like, hey, man, you know you should be doing such.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, shut up, man, I got this.
But you know what? I appreciate those type of people now.
No, I do. In the military, I had guys like that I found with 8 clubs.
Yeah.
And looking back on, I was like, man, he was always in my ass about something. I'm like, but he wasn't wrong.
Right. Like, appreciate it later.
But you don't like what Saturn represents. Like for me, I have a 4 spades in Saturn. And that's actually the card of being taken care of. Okay. But most of my life, I did not like being taken care of.
Yeah, it says we'll have wealthy friends.
Right. And it's a card, I call it the card of the kept woman or man. And you know what I mean? So somebody is always there willing to take care of you in some way. Yeah. And I never knew how to accept that kind of energy. Like, you know, because my dad wasn't there and that's Saturn. Mm-hmm. So, and it's funny because my dad lives with me now and he is that 4 of spades. Like he does everything for me. I'm like, okay, you could chill now. You know what I mean? But I had to learn how to accept being cared for. Okay. So I can't be an independent woman. You know what I mean? Like, you know, people say, well, you're independent. Yeah, right. I can't if I tried. You know, right. But again, that's your Saturn is that energy that you feel uncomfortable about. And your parents, one of your parents, your Saturn parent was supposed to teach you about that energy. You know what I mean?
So you're saying the key to success is to make yourself uncomfortable. So
yes, to go down into the yes.
It makes sense. If you're stagnant, you're not doing anything.
Exactly. Coach say it's just discipline, but discipline is a scary word.
Yeah.
But it's a type of discipline.
Yeah.
Choose discipline. Right. But it scares people. That word is a strong. That D word is a strong word.
Disciples scare people.
Well, that's
scare people too.
Well, that's why in certain cultures they take the children, you know what I mean, and they raise them a certain way. And to other people, it may seem really brutal, but they're getting that Saturn stuff really early.
I watched this documentary about the hyena men in Nigeria that basically, from the day the child is born, they give it poisonous snakes to play with. Mm-hmm. And those kids never get bitten. They never, and these kids have no fear.
Scared either.
Nothing at all. But it's out the gate. So real quick, because we only got a couple more minutes. Can you explain real quickly, because everybody's probably listening like cars, and you say Saturn and Jupiter. So how many cards does a person have in the general spread, including their chromatic cards, meaning their
well, I go with the Magian, the way that the Magians did it, and they used the 13 cards. Okay. And these cards actually come from a more complicated advanced spread, but we don't give you the complicated advanced spread on the website. We do for the students. Right. We give you the simple one. We just kind of give you all 13 cards.
So what's the you have your karma cards, right?
And your karma cards is similar to your nodes in astrology.
Oh, okay.
So
see now
that's very
interesting. And this is why you say, because we just got into the nodes probably in the last year.
Yeah.
I can skip over nodes.
Yeah. I read mine.
It's crazy
it's
important.
So much information.
Yeah.
Right, but I didn't know exactly where that fit in with the cards. So you're saying that when it says I owe one karma card.
Yeah, your challenging karma card is your north node, and your easy karma card is your south node.
Got it. That makes sense.
So your challenging karma card represents these new energies that you need to embody to get you to your destiny, and your other ones are already the ones that you're strong in, and it's your comfort zone. Okay. You know what I mean? So
what about your?
So is that like the person you owe? Is that going to be the comfort?
I don't use that stuff.
That's just the way. That's why you know that's how they write it.
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense to me.
So based off a similar book like that, it might even be the same book because that's what Robert
Camp,
because there's Robert and then there's I like Sharon too. You know
Sharon. Sharon. You like her because she's a king of diamonds.
King of diamonds too. She knows it. But I liked her presentation is better than Robert's to me.
Well,
it looks nice.
But you know what makes her presentation so good? 4 clubs Venus.
Oh, well, I have a 4 clubs Venus.
So everything has to be orderly and nice. And,
so with hers, she says that there's a challenge card and a reward card to the challenge at the end. So after your Pluto card.
That's the reward.
So what are those representing? Because I can't have you figured out what those represent either? Because I know that
I do.
Ace of Spades reward card or gift or whatever the universe, whatever they call it.
Right.
I don't know what that means.
Right. Well, it's definitely a positive influence, but I use the reward and the Pluto card together. Okay. So I look at them as I don't separate them. Okay. You know what I mean? So your reward is going to help you with your Pluto. Your Pluto is going to help you get to your reward. Okay. You know what I mean? It's just that simple. I look at them together. Okay. So like for instance, my Pluto card is the 8 of Spades. My reward is the Ace of Hearts, right? The 8 of Spades is the card of overcoming obstacles. Mm-hmm. It's also a little bit of a bully, right? Yeah. So when it comes to relationships, I want my way. I want my way. You know what I mean? Right. So the Ace of Hearts is like if I want real love, I have to deal with this eight of Spades tendencies to want things my way, to want it the way that I want it, when I want it, and not only want it that way, but make it that way. Because the 8 of Clubs is the same way. The 8 of Clubs wants it the way that they want it, but I actually make it. I'm going to make it happen. You know what I mean? Right. So you got to look at both of them together. And when it's good, you get that reward card. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So for me, it's very difficult to get a relationship for me. You know, I can get many relationships where they won't mean anything. Right. It's very difficult for me to get real love. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Okay. So because of that Ace of Hearts. Right. But when I get over this 8 of Spades, and it's many things to do with the 8 of Spades. Like I can work out, which is the card of 8 of Spades. Mm-hmm. So this is the funny thing, real quick. So when I was getting pregnant all the time, what was I doing? I was going to the gym. Right. So I go to the gym, boom, I'm pregnant. 8 of Spades, Ace of Hearts, baby. Right. Gym was making babies for me. So, and Pluto is, of course, your reproductive organs. Yeah. So if I'm going to the gym, I'm making my reproductive organs like, crazy. So, and another 4 of Clubs, a man, I studied him, my twin, birth twin. So I was studying him, and him and I were working out together.
But continue.
Yeah, him and I were working out together. So he was telling me how much stimulated he gets when he works out. It's like terrible. Like his addiction, just like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So when he goes in the gym, he's just crazy. And I was like, it's the same thing. I said, I don't get like that, but I make babies when I go to the gym. You know what I mean? So it's just, that's how it works.
That's interesting. So twins. I've noticed a lot of times.
3 of Hearts.
I know a twin born on his day.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of them very much represents the birth card. Mm-hmm. The other one very much represents the planetary ruling card. Have you noticed that with twins, one seems to take one of the energies on and the other one takes the other?
Well, listen, it's definitely, they're not the same. Number one, they got different names. Right. They were born at different times of the day. Right. You know what I mean? So, right. Even the millisecond is a different time of the day. So they were born at different times, different names. These are going to give them different, a little slight difference, or make their personalities alter. Right. You know what I mean? Because twins are symbolized by the 3 of Hearts. Okay. And the 3 of Hearts is like, it's a split. Yeah. So there's really a trinity there. Mm-hmm. There's really another thread that kind of keeps them together. Right. But the invisible that keeps them together. But there's a difference. They're not the same. So they're gonna, and this little difference still is in the spectrum of their karmas. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So one has the choice to go this way, because the 3 of Hearts is a card of choice, right? One has a choice to do this, and one has a choice, and one has a choice because they're here to experience different experiences together. You know what I mean? And give each other the other side. Yeah, so exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because I always wonder. I was like, man, anytime I meet twins, one of them seems like I have cousins that's King of Hearts, Brandy, King of Hearts, King of Diamonds. Mm-hmm. One of them is super businessy, Brandy right now. The other one is like, hey, she had all the boyfriends. Dudes calling with different names. And Sasha, I'm like, who the hell is Sasha? But she very much fit, And even Tia Tamara, you always see it with twins. One of them takes on one of the energies more, and the other one takes on the other. So I'm just wondering if you noticed that too. Cool. Well, we got a couple minutes left. Give you a chance to go over guap coin real quick with the
okay. Well, new money. I have an Ace of Diamonds Magi card. I'm the most Ace of Diamonds you could possibly get. Okay. So I was always starting businesses. New business. But guap coin. I started guap coin in 2017. I did not know I was going to do guap coin. I definitely, guap coin is a 10 of clubs, by the way. Okay. That's what it is. The birthday is 10 of clubs. So it has definitely shown me It's very spiritual, and I can't wait till it really takes off. So then I can talk about the spiritual side. Right now, I'm only talking about the data side and the this side and the technology side. But people don't know what's going on for real. And on the spiritual side, it's tremendous. It's huge, and it dips into AI and what AI is, and all of that spiritual.
We're gonna have to do a whole nother show just
on crypto alone, and it taught me because. As I'm dealing with crypto and people who have Guap coin, I see their emotions and how it affects the blockchain. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when people lose it emotionally, then there becomes glitches in the blockchain. Stuff just starts frying, just like Mercury retrograde. Stuff just starts going crazy. So I'm constantly have to call people and calm them down and talk them off the ledge and tell them, have patience, have faith, my card, which is my lesson, have faith, have patience, and then they calm it down, and then the blockchain gets back on track, and I'm telling you, it's deep. Yeah. It's super deep. But yes, Guap Coin, I created it to be a financial voice for us. When I say us, us black and brown people, because I'm in crypto, I met everybody on the top, and none of them look like us.
That's a problem that I've discovered everywhere I go.
Right.
I get in the room and I'm like, so even with ETs, you get in the room and you're like, what the hell is wrong?
Right.
I actually went to a meeting with Mommy. It was a whole cryptocurrency convention, and it was for black girls, black women, and black men, and they was saying let's get in here before it's taking over already. This was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, you got papers.
But guess how many people actually wanted to sign up at the end of that? It was probably a good 50 to 75 people there. 20-something, 30 people.
Well, I was very afraid when I attended an event in New York City at the Park Hotel. It was about 500 people, top money in the world. The combined value of everybody in that room was God knows how much money. Yeah. And I was the only black face there.
I can believe it.
So that was we can't have this repeat of money situations going on like it's going on right now with the dollar.
There's a lot of things in the tech. Me and him we're looking into graphite and 2D structures and crystalline stuff to do technology and clothing. And there's so many areas of technology that us as a whole are just not really.
Well, you know what? This is our time. Right. If you follow me, I tell you that people of color are a nine of diamonds. We are a nine of diamonds. That's why it was important. Yeah, that's why it was important when Obama became president, because he's a nine of diamonds. Right, exactly. So that's an activation that's the first part of the activation of us. And the nine of diamonds is a card of giving and philanthropy, yes, but it's also the card of devotion to your ancestors. It has the 4 hearts and Saturn. So we are an ancestral people, and the ancestors are integral to our success. You know what I mean? So right now, they're trying to push money through to us. They are. That's what Guap is about. They're trying to push money through to us. We got to get them channels that they can bring wealth to us. Right. If you don't create the channels, they can't do nothing.
We've been bred to depend on the Caucasian for all of our channels.
And I feel that's part of why all this is happening. It's shaking everything.
Well, it is shaking your dependence. Right. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Great at first.
Yeah, they're not gonna look
but that's what the Ace of Diamonds is about.
Right.
That's why this
Hitler was an Ace of Diamonds.
Right. But Hitler, a lot of people don't know what he did. He created basically a new currency when he came into power. You know what I mean? Because the Jews, the Jewish bankers,
being used to this day.
Right. But
militarily wise, a lot of different things.
Right, but the Jewish bankers at the time, Germany was starving because of the reparations they had to pay for the treaty. They were hungry. Right. But with these new treasury certificates he created, he took them from hunger to posh in a couple of years. You know what I mean? Right. Well, you got all the fluff and all of that they're going to throw in there too.
Well, it was impressive what he
but that's what the Ace of Diamonds is going to do. Right. You know what I mean? And it's also the difference between the masculine and feminine. Right. You know what I mean? So you get the masculine Ace of Diamonds, you get a lot of aggressive, warlike energy. I'm going to take over the world. You know what I mean?
That's might be what you be feeling. he's got the Ace of Diamonds, but he got the Queen of Diamonds as the second card. So
but they have a Queen of Spades in Pluto. So there's always a powerful woman somewhere in the midst of an Ace of Diamonds. You know what I mean? So Right. So exactly. So the only person that my Ace of Diamonds son will back off of is me. So, you know, if I go in there and tell him you're gonna do this, he gonna do it.
Right.
You know, so that's how that energy is. But the Ace of Diamonds, and another thing as far as the COVID, most people don't know is that viruses leave behind genetic information when they attach to your cells.
Right.
And this is an upgrade.
Yep.
This is an upgrade. This is downloading information to you in a swift manner. Is to get it to you via these viruses that carry these genetic information that's going to activate certain parts of you. Just like Cardology, if the Ace of Diamonds comes into your life, it's going to activate a different part of you.
So you feel like COVID is activating a different part of Earth.
Exactly. It's activating. It has different activations. It's worse in Italy because Italy is a 6 of diamonds. What's Uranus to the 6 of diamonds? The Ace of diamonds. You know what I mean? So Italy is the center of what? The Vatican.
They got a lot
the
of
mob.
They
have a lot of financial karma. They have a lot of financial debt. And if you don't keep up your
old population.
Exactly. If you don't keep up with your financial debt, then you deal with death. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing. People who are very conscious of this were Jewish people. They're very conscious of karmic debt and keeping up with your karmic debt.
Because they love to keep the scales.
Exactly. King of Diamonds. They're the King of Diamonds.
Oh, they are. Oh, that makes sense.
They're the King of Diamonds.
Well, man, I'm so sad we have to end this. This is great. We actually went over, but I don't
Cardology will have you go on for a long time.
No, I'll talk about this.
I'll listen. I like soaking up information.
Me and many other men have won a lot in strip clubs and a lot of other places. Listen, I'm being honest now. Folks,
you do know that the strip club is King of Diamonds.
It makes sense.
It's the King of Diamonds.
But when I go in there, I can avoid spending money. I just pull out the car. I was like, "What's your birthday, baby?" She's like, "Oh, my son's like, oh," and then I'll be showing you. She pulled out the chair. An hour and a half that went by. We had a good time.
That's so King of Diamonds.
And I left. Manager mad. She's like, "That's because he is such and such." What card is he in?
And what's the name of one of the biggest strip clubs in America?
Yes, and they got an Ace of Clubs in Atlanta now too. But yeah, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you so much. We gotta have you back to go more into crypto, and we'll do another level of the cards at some point. But once again, tell everybody your Instagram, your website, all that good stuff, real quick.
Aquarius Maximus on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. My website is aquariusmaximus.com. Then Guapcoin, guapcoin.org. You can find Guapcoin as Guapcoin everywhere.
Boom. And this will be up on YouTube soon. We got to put the KT video. Some of y'all who are listening have been talking a lot of shit about the KT video not being up yet. It's coming. Demos, answer the people, Demos.
It will be up tomorrow morning.
They've been upset. Have they not been upset thrice? They've been upset. He's gotten messages. He had to send me messages like, "Yo, they tripping." It's real out here. So we'll get that up. We'll have up this video. Thank y'all for rocking out with us. Baby Long Way, say bye.
Holla.
D-Mose.
Deuces. Thank you
Sorry,
for coming.
Get on the mic, say bye.
Deuce.
Coach. Bye for Coach. Yell it.
Thanks for Aquarius on the OE takeover. She took over my live.
All right, so we're gonna get out of here. It's raining today, but I don't care. I'm playing Bob Marley's "The Sun Is Shining." Let's go. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Enjoy the rest of the quarantine and the lockdown as much as possible. Get out there. Smoke them if you got them. Drink them if you don't. Do both if you can. I don't know. Let's do this, man. Y'all have a great time, man.
All right.